Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today on this session. I'm honored to be in front of you, virtually, to talk to you about how you as an organization can gear towards becoming the next autonomous digital enterprise. My name is Gunal Kannan, and I lead the PreSales organization across APJ for BMC software. And many of you might have come across BMC software as a vendor, as a platform provider for the last 4 decades. Thank you for those who are our customers today and have embraced our technology to run and reinvent yourselves to where you are today and what you look forward to being in the future. In today's session, I'd like to talk to you and take you through a journey where we believe, despite all of the challenges that we are going through today, what it is posing, the COVID-19 challenge that is posing today, and what it might create for tomorrow, can still be set aside. And as we look forward into the next 4 to 5 years, how we can help various organizations to run and reinvent themselves and become one that can not only handle the challenges of today, but also expect the challenges of the future. Now let's talk about all the changing things in the world today. From the massive technology shifts that we have seen over the last couple of decades, the waves of new technology that we as consumers and as an enterprise have created and consumed has been fantastic. Now, the changing world has not only seen massive technology shifts over the last couple of decades, from where we are today with mobile devices, edge technologies, IoT, to back when it was the mainframes, the distributed systems, the adoption of virtualization and cloud. Technology has been a core part of every business. This is unlikely to change in terms of going away. This is just going to continue to evolve, and it's going to embrace some new paths like today's artificial intelligence and machine learning, and much more automation coming our way as well. Now, all of this has to be done in alignment with a lot of geopolitical factors that come into play. There are various things that are going around us in the world between superpowers, or even if you take within nations, that are going to impact organizations. Now, add to all of this the socioeconomic impact that is being created and is continuing to evolve as part of the COVID-19 impact to all of us. With all of these taken into consideration, we still believe that as we come out of it, as a human race, we are very strong, and we've seen crisis over and over again. We would come out of this and we will continue to evolve. And at that point, businesses have to be ready to embrace the changes that have been created in the markets, embrace the changes that the consumers are expecting, and use that as a platform to drive their business today and for the future. Now let's look at some of the ways in which we think changes are going to come across. To start with, when you take software as part of any organization, today many organizations have gone into a DevOps mode where they create software in an agile manner and are releasing it as a much more faster pace than what it used to be today. Now, we expect that in the next 4 to 5 years, organizations, or 2 out of every 3 organizations, might be delivering software into their data centers or into their end users every day. We already see that as part of the larger ecosystems of whether you have an Apple device or an Android device. Every day on your phone, there are updates to your apps. And those apps update themselves irrespective of whether you close the app or your app is opened. Doesn't matter. It's one click and your app is updated to the latest version. We would see very similar kind of seamless deployment of applications in the near future, especially with the adoption and the abstraction of the application, the operating system, and the data through the means of containerization. This is going to become more and more easier and it's going to be a massive impact in terms of how you go to market with your applications and the use of technology within your enterprise. Adding to this, we also see that maybe 80% of the code that goes into these applications might be sourced out. It might not have to be created by your own developers. We adopt ecosystem where we could consume data or consume services, especially if you're writing cloud native apps. The major players like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud and many others are providing you with so many services that you can consume without having to recreate the code. We also feel that that would mean more developers will be needed than today. There is a growth of developers who are not only creating core content packs or code packs that can be reused, but also helping piece them together into the applications of the future. All of this leads into more cloud native apps. 90% or more of applications created in the future would be completely cloud native. And these could range from just only using compute on the cloud to every bit of services and data, whether it is consumption of big data analytics, um, using data pipes, etc. All could be done in a cloud native manner. Now, all of this will lead into certain challenges as well. And what are some of these challenges that we believe that companies will face? Companies will look at seeing, how do I quickly capitalize all of this technology, all of these changes to my benefit? It's a key part of what our executives continue to look out for. We don't want to miss an opportunity of revenue or customer acquisition by not adopting quickly enough. At the same time, you also look at what are the other revenue streams or ways in which you can grow your business. Companies need to continuously shift and keep looking out for opportunities that will open up to creating new customer base, or also to keep your current customer base loyal. And that would mean to evolve with them and the expectations of your consumers. And last but not the least, it would be around what actions do you need to do today to be successful tomorrow. This is a key part of every organization's anticipation on what technologies and what platforms to adopt, so that they will not only help you dictate your current set of success, but also the near future. Now, this has been going on for quite some time. Now we say we are in the fourth industrial revolution. There's been waves of these in the past, and we've seen organizations that have not been able to adopt and adapt, but we've seen many who've also evolved themselves. I've called a few examples here, and at BMC, we truly believe that we've been helping organizations run and reinvent themselves. And what I mean by that is, any organizations who is trying to look at shifting their mode of operation, or they're trying to look at new means of doing innovative stuff, has to still keep running and keeping the lights on of what they have today. It's not just a jump of shift from one sector to another. So if you look at the evolving pattern of some of these companies, whether it be Netflix or Lego, Amazon, one of the beautiful examples that we can take, how they have transformed themselves to being a massive digital force today. And these companies have continued to evolve, embracing new technology, highly innovative. They've failed in many, but they failed quickly, and they've kept what they are doing well today in a good state. That consumers don't see it as, oh, this is a new area and I anticipate to see issues. No, that's not what consumers are expecting to see today. Your customers and consumers expect every new service to being stable, to being able to scale, and to always be the best of breed when it comes to experience. So, as organizations, we have to look at continuously reinventing ourselves into the future. To doing that, we feel that there are three traits that are going to help you be very successful. The first one, agility, is easier said than done. In today's world, especially in the development space, we align the word agility to DevOps. The concept of having a continuous innovation cycle and a development cycle that leads into new outputs that are minimally viable, that can be pushed out, not having to wait for an entire release, a complete waterfall cycle as it used to be called. Now, this kind of agility is not only in the development of technology or software. This has to be embraced across the organization. And I'll touch upon these operating models in a short while. But we need to think about agility at a much more broader trait versus just software or technology. The second one is around customer centricity. Everyone understands that the customers are the soul of any organization or the business, the end users who you are working towards or creating services for. Now, the concept of customer centricity comes in terms of understanding the preferences, the ways in which customers expect to consume your service, and how this continues to evolve every day. How can you assess patterns of usage by your customers or by customers who are switching to other services or options, and make sure that you bring those changes back into your ecosystem to maintain your loyal base and go after new customer acquisition. The third trait would be on actionable insights. This is something that's been positioned and spoken about for the last couple of decades when we started with consuming a lot of data or storing a lot of information, which then became useful information. There was a concept of BI where we would apply various transformation into your data from one system to another and make meaningful information. In today's world, there is a massive explosion in terms of the input of data that we get today. May it be structural data, unstructured data, sentiment analysis, social needs. There's a lot of data that we are consuming as an enterprise. Taking all of this together, creating meaningful insights that are going to help make, define the actions of today and tomorrow is a key trait that you have to look at. Now, as we look into how BMC as a vendor comes in to help you drive and become an autonomous digital enterprise, we have taken all of what I've said before into consideration. Now, let me start to explain with what we mean by an autonomous digital enterprise. We believe that by 2025, let's say even before, maybe, every company, no matter what industry you are in today, what your end product is, you will be a technology company. And that's because of the consumption of data, the services that we provide, the way in we provide these services and revenue models, etc. There is so much technology that is being embraced into it. So despite being a bank or an insurance company or a manufacturing company, a healthcare organization, a telco, everyone will be a technology company. And this technology company, or the technology that drives your business, needs to be autonomous, needs to be able to adapt and use the data and provide insights to you, needs to be one that is highly digital. And that's what we call as an autonomous digital enterprise of the future, or ADE in short. Now, to become an ADE, or to gear towards becoming an ADE over the next couple of years, as we come out of the current COVID situation that we are in and we start to get back into that growth cycle, we look at a few different areas. The pentagon that you see on my slide out there takes into its core the traits, the three traits that we believe are going to be making every organization successful. Now, on top of that, we have to surround it with some operating model that everyone within your organization would focus on in terms of adapting or adopting within their operations. Let's take one at a time and go through it. Now, as we look into each one of these business models, or let's start with the innovation ecosystems in a shared or sharing economy. What we need to see is the innovation doesn't just get into silos. There isn't just one siloed department or part of your organization that's focused on it, having the labs, etc. It's required, but we need to start seeing it across every part of the business. And what we need to do is to have more sharing within and outside of your current ecosystem. There are a lot of businesses today that are consuming services from yet another business and making it adaptable to deliver new business streams or revenue streams for a particular organization. Now, to doing that, you also need to set up some horizontal business domains. And these would be domains that would go end to end in delivering a service to your consumer and not having to depend upon the silos that might exist today. It helps evolve an organization to become more outcome driven from an end to end standpoint and not rely on very specific modes of operations. Now, this also leads into, and all of these put together, into some optimized technology buying. Because some of the platforms that you would use would have to span across your business. The very traditional buying pattern today of different silos looking at what they need and focus on the needs of an individual department or team or a purpose has to move out. And there has to be more widespread consumption of the technology so that it's a lot more easier to evolve as a business, as a domain, as opposed to very specific projects. To doing so, your IT, a team that is focused on delivering your infrastructure and software and technology, has to become highly centralized, has to become an enabler of bringing various technologies across the board to any line of business or business domain. We also feel that the most important part is that every corporate function has to become tech savvy. They adopt technology and not be reluctant about any kind of change or shift that it's going to bring about. Yes, technology coming into every function will change your current mode of operations. Most of us have transformed to becoming digital, but the more consumption, say for example, if we talk about using AI and machine learning into a procurement cycle or a finance cycle, has the hesitancy today on how is this going to ramify what I do in my job or in my role today. What we have to believe is to get our businesses to move faster and further, we have to adopt. The more we adopt these technologies, maybe in pockets today, and as these technologies evolve together with time, they are going to help us continue to innovate more as a business and not spend the time, the most critical part of your business, which is the human power that you have, can be spent in innovating and creating new streams while the traditional activities are left to more of the technology to carry. Now, as you adopt these operating models, you do need a technology layer that's going to come in and help you drive this growth. Now, this is where BMC software plays a key part. We provide software capability and platforms that are going to help you become an autonomous digital enterprise. I'll start with a transcendent customer experience. In today's world, we all understand that a digital enterprise needs to connect with its consumers in every possible avenue, an omni-channel presence, whether it is through back in the days from a web page, web applications, to everyone having mobile capabilities, to omni-channel presence through digital assistants or IoT capability. You need to continue to evolve your customer experience. Customers tend to shift from one service to another quite easily when they don't get the right experience that they require. Now, to get to that level, as you continue to develop, let's say, in an agile manner, let me shift into enterprise DevOps. DevOps today is heavily focused on the development cycle of applications that are created internally. This particular mode of operation has to be applied across all corporate functions. The entire enterprise needs to become in a very operate in a very agile manner. Whether this is your line of business from HR to finance to procurement, everyone becomes DevOps centric. To get there, you have to embrace data, data driven businesses. Use data from every possible source, create insights from them, use big data analytics to drive various revenue streams, share examples of customers of ours who are manufacturers of, for example, tires, consuming data by embedding IoT devices within their tires and gaining so much insights about where individuals are traveling or where trucks and buses are traveling, the information that could be new revenue streams for retail businesses or insurance companies, looking at the speed at which the vehicle was traveling, the braking cycles and the patterns of driving, a lot of different insights that are being consumed from data, which could be a completely new revenue stream outside of what the traditional business model was. To get to that level of using data and ensuring that data is moved from one system to another and it's done at the right time, you need to bring in a huge amount of automation. Automation has to scale up to automating everything. If you take most organizations today, from manufacturing to healthcare, automation has been brought in at an industrial level. Automation needs to happen also at the technology layer. And today we see various areas, for example, robotic process automation, RPA in short, has been quite a big boom in terms of starting to quite easily automate mundane tasks that humans were doing, copying data from one place to another or one form to another as part of a flow. At BMC, we've been providing business automation for multiple years. Our Control M has been a key driving force for many businesses across the globe, from mainframe to distributed systems to running big data analytics to DevOps cycles as well. We continue to evolve and we bringing in more AI into this platform to transform it to become the future of hyper automation. Every part of your business that gets automated. Last but not the least is security. Security at this rapid pace is very important, especially as we go cloud native and especially as we go and start deploying applications that are being used everywhere by every kind of engagement. We have to be conscious that we don't have any loopholes in there. And just as how technology is starting to grow and evolve very fast, so are the malicious attacks. Just as how we go out and find ways to become more solid in terms of how we keep vulnerabilities away, the attackers keep trying to find new ways and means. Now we need to bring in again AI in here so that it's not very rules driven, but it's very adaptive. These are areas in which BMC is focusing a lot on, and we are investing as an organization to create new patterns, new ways in which we can be adaptive in our security solutions. One of our platforms, AMI is it's called, Automated Mainframe Intelligence for Security, is a platform that helps the mainframe systems to be adaptive as far as security is concerned. So with all of this technology coming in, it's not just a product or a platform that you can use. You have to look at ways in which you adapt to each one of these with what your existing platforms are, your existing processes are, and capabilities are, people, process, and the platform become a very key part of gearing to become an autonomous digital enterprise. And we believe we could be a partner to help you get there. Now, as part of the technology layers that BMC provides, today we have multiple platforms like the BMC Helix platform for cloud-based, SaaS-driven capabilities. We have the BMC Amy, which helps on the mainframe side, BMC's True Side and Control M, which are continuing to help you both on premise as well as in the cloud to guide you to becoming an ADE. In conclusion, I would like to wrap it up by saying, as we come out of the current challenge that we are all at, whether it's working from home or looking at ways and means in which we look at the changing nature of our consumers' buying patterns or adoption of our services, or businesses completely shifting and moving into new areas that gets forged as part of this new challenge that we're going through. We believe that we will certainly come out stronger than before, and we will continue to evolve at a rapid pace or much more faster pace than we were 6 months ago. So, to becoming prepared and geared towards the future in the next 3 to 4 years, we believe that you should look at becoming an autonomous digital enterprise, embracing some of the operating models, the three core tenets of our success traits, and most importantly, the technology layer and platform that's going to help you run and reinvent yourself from your current state to your future state of becoming an autonomous digital enterprise. I hope this session was valuable. Please do drop by our virtual booth, BMC Software, on this platform to talk about and hear more about how we've been helping various customers and how we will continue to help you and many others to becoming an autonomous digital enterprise. Thank you and have a great day.